texted Josh the other day with a simple question. It was a simple question. I said, Josh, what does Nick Cleo Dio mean in Latin? Josh had no idea. I just said, I don't care about God. Nick Cleo Dio N.
All right, tell me how to spell it.
Okay, N-I-C.
N-I-C.
K-E-Y. M-O-U-S-E. Nicky Mouse. No,
Nicky Mouse.
Well, that works too. N-I-C space.
Okay.
K-E-L-O-D-E-O. I don't care about God.
Oh my gosh.
They don't care about him.
No way.
It's proof Nickelodeon doesn't care about God. You don't want to know where I find this stuff, Josh.
The deep dark webs.
The dark web.
Listen.
I forget,
Let me show you what a Nickelodeon was back in the day.
Okay,
I want you
all
to
right.
check this out.
Okay. We're just letting you guys come to your own conclusions. We're just giving you the facts, and then you concoct whatever conspiracy you want to. I do that all day long.
Here it is. A Nickelodeon was the first type of indoor exhibition space dedicated to showing projected motion pictures in the United States. Usually set up in converted storefronts, these small, simple theaters charged 5 cents for admission and flourished. Oh, that's why it was called a nickel.
Oh.
I thought that these were like the old, you put your
Like
your head inside
kaleidoscopes.
and you cranked it and you looked at it. Is that not what these things were?
Just 5-cent movie theaters.
Because that my theory only works if that's what it was. Well,
We need to go even deeper then, Josh. Why did the people who first came up with movies call them I don't care about gods? God and
here we go.
just
Here we
tacked
go.
on an N at the
An Odeon is a roofed over theater. Nickel is obviously 5 cents, and then Odeon is a roofed over theater. So 5 cents for a roofed over theater.
Our conspiracy is slowly falling apart.
This was gonna be, if it was that with the crank and you watch the little movie, the little frames go by, then I was gonna say virtual reality. Of course, you don't care about God in virtual reality.
Oh, I see.
You become your
gotcha.
own God. Mark Zuckerberg is your God in the virtual reality.
It's your God. He'll give you the house by the water.
But look, what about the idea that now you're sitting in front of a screen and you're just taking? It's what we've been talking about. Like suddenly looking at screens, it's such an addiction. It has become your God. You don't care about God because now you have something else that you are like in awe of that is just
projected to you.
Instead of looking at nature, instead of looking at people, the things that God created, now you're looking at something that man created.
Their image, their programming, their
Odeon.
Yeah.
Their odious
their
Odeon.
Frequency. That's a conspiracy right there. Think about it. TVs. Okay?
Yeah.
I've thought about this.
Yeah.
Keep
going.
I'll keep going.
This is gonna be good.
TVs.
Keep going.
Okay?
With you so far.
Television.
Still with you.
Tell-a-vision. I'm going to television. No. It all gets better. I'm going to tune in to your frequency. I'm going to get my daily programming. You're going to program me.
That's right.
And there was another one, I can't remember it. So it's a little anticlimactic, but channels. I'm
channeling.
You're channeling to me.
That's like satanic.
Exactly. So that's what all of this is. So then Nickelodeon, throw them in there. They don't care about God. It's also like a covered porch, where they're watching movies, and we're
who knows what's going on that porch. Okay,
I don't know.
Watch out, kids. Watch out, everybody.
So I feel like that's just a fact.
I think that everything we've said here checks out.
It definitely does. I mean, that without a doubt.
Rated our #1 section of the podcast. Now you know about Nickelodeon.
And look, here's the thing, Josh. I mean, we could go deeper with the Nickelodeon stuff, but it's just too much for people. Where do I find this stuff? And I'm watching it. I'm like always thinking about the podcast. What can I add? What can't I add? And this was one I could not add. So
too much.
It was just too much for everybody.
It's too much
too
for
much for me. I watched it 3 times. I'm like, does this check out? It checked out to me, but I don't know if it's going to check out to others. So I just didn't insert it. But,
all right,
you go through all the little sexual innuendo of all these Nickelodeons, and then you find out all these guys were actually the P word.
Oh no!
And they're all arrested. They've been arrested. They've been not all of them. All of them. A lot of them. Have worked on these shows where they're hiring these children who are playing.
I know.
characters, and you have these adults writing this.
God help
children,
dude,
into each other.
God help all of these child actors. Every time I see a kid in a movie or something, especially back in the old days,
Home Alone. God help these people.
I know. Kelly read a book about Shirley Temple and told me about it, and it's hard to watch any Shirley Temple movie.
So was she abused too?
Yeah. Oh, dude, they all were back then, man.
I think
they still all are, but
yeah. For some reason, I thought that she wasn't, and she told the story of what other people went through.
And the stories that she told are about like how the men took advantage of her.
Okay.
Not like she was sold into slavery or something.
Yeah.
Not like that, but like
she was getting paid into slavery.
It was the casting couch.
Yeah.
The OG casting couch. So anyways, pray for all the child actors. Don't let your kids
watch
Nickelodeon or act in Nickelodeon productions.
Exactly.
Just keep them away from television.
That's right, Josh. Early on with Blind Mikhail, we had like a talent agent out in California who said, "Hey, we want you to send me in like an audition thing, and we'll put it into to get you on Disney."
I forgot about that.
And we said no bueno. We didn't send him anything. We
were so based back then.
Dude, we were so bad, eh? Back then, we still are.
We still are, but I'm saying that like for that time.
Oh yeah.
All the opportunities that were like offered to us, that's what I mean.
that story, I told that story back then because it was just an obvious no. Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about it. No. And when we were making that decision, I told one of my friends at school, like, oh yeah, like Disney reached out. But it wasn't Disney, but it was somebody very close with Disney. I was like, they like reached out and like wanted me to like maybe send in an audition. And I said no. And they, I told one person. Apparently that had gotten around school. And so, like, I talked to somebody.
Did you know Amy Grant went to Tribeca?
Right. Like, then, like, 2 years later, I'm, like, talking to a person that I just had a class with, I just met. And then they say something like, oh, yeah, I saw you. I was like, oh, that's the guy Disney, like, reached out to him. I was like, what are you talking about? I forgot about
this.
That's
hilarious. Like people know this story. Like, I've totally forgot about this.
It was so weird.
It could have been the sweet life of Zach and Jordan.
Can you?
That's so Jordan.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was what a dodge
Joshy
bullet.
Stevens. Joshy McGuire.
Hey, it could have been like Drake and Josh, but it could be called Jordan and Josh.
That means you would go to jail. This is going to be the longest podcast episode we've ever done.
I know.
Nickelodeon. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Not even once. The shows on there suck anyway.
Drake and Josh was funny, but then if you watch that, there's just so much sexual innuendo. It's insane.
Really?
Dude, if you go back and you watch that show, you will be led to believe that every producer on there was a P word. It will shock you. I watched the whole season again because
you were aghast. You were aghast.
Yeah, because I loved that show and I saw it was on something, so I was like, oh, let's watch this. And Sarah had never seen it, and it is funny. It's very funny, but it was like, dude, this is creepy. Dude. So that's the end of this.